I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
I love it.
And we're back for another live installment of After Hours with the Whack Pack. I'm Dave Palumbo. John Romano's on vacation, and I am wearing the shirt of our new sponsor, Rest When Dead Clothing. Check them out. You saw the commercial probably prior to the show. We have a very, very special show today. We have some special guests. Obviously, we have the Whack Pack, and back joining us today is Jon Bravo. We resurrected him.
I missed you guys, man. It's good to have you.
I didn't know if you'd be back.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Where have you been hiding?
You know what? I've been just doing a lot of videos, man, and that's my whole thing, making those videos, telling those stories. That's what moves me in all this. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I've been planning and wanting to come back on here, just haven't been able to. So
he had to get a haircut last week. He couldn't.
Yeah, every week I got to cut the fucking thing.
John, you were in Maryland, right?
Yeah, I was in Maryland for a while because I got family over there. So I was visiting them. It's nice. Listen, I can't tell you how changed of a person I am being back on the East Coast near family. When I first started this show with you guys, I was in a bad place, being in Arizona. Yeah. And then coming back here, I'm like a changed person. I think people could even tell with the content that I'm making now, it's completely different. My personality, everything about me is in a positive place now. So it's different.
You really didn't have any close friends there, though, did you?
Nobody. No, I had nobody in Arizona. It was literally like being in prison, So
it's Arizona. What brought you out there? Was it a girl or?
No, you know what it is? No, originally my whole family was.
It's always a girl.
Well, girls kept me there because there's a lot of young sharmutas there.
Yeah, the scene's unreal there.
Yeah. It's like something you've never been. That's what kept me there for so long. But then I realized that you can't convert sharmutas into a housewife. So I left.
Dallas is like that too. Dallas is really similar to.
Speaking of shamutas, what's going on with Logan Paul's girlfriend? Is she a shamuta?
Who's a
yours?
Honestly, I feel bad for Logan Paul because I see him. He did an interview and he's like, you know what? She didn't want to sleep with me for 2 weeks, and he was so happy about that. That's
2 weeks for 2 whole weeks.
Yeah, and this is before all that shit came out.
Yeah,
and then all that shit came out, and I'm looking at him. I'm feeling bad for him because you guys know what it's like. Early 20s, you meet like the girl of your dreams, and you're overwhelmed. You feel like different. You feel like she's like the only thing, the best thing you ever met in life, and then he seems like that. So I almost feel bad for the guy.
She said she needed a giant sausage to destroy her body.
Yeah,
destroy.
No, but this is the thing, guys. Listen, nowadays, what girl is not a sharmuta? Like, I don't care what the girl does before me. In reality, you know what I mean? Like, how you gonna hold that shit against?
That's what I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys: Is it really anyone's business? I mean, assuming she's not doing porn or something like that. Or swinging around a pole, is it really anyone's business? Girls are going to have histories with other guys prior to dating you, more than likely, unless you found her at 15 years old, So
there's the situation with Adam 22, whose wife is a porn star, and they got married, and he had his wife do her first scene with another guy. And it happened to be a well-endowed black man. I guess they call it the BBC. She got the BBC. She received it very well, and apparently it got quite a bit of views. And then Adam was talking to other people, seeing who else he could get to nail his wife. Pretty
Well,
interesting.
he's into that though.
He's into all that. He's a nasty dude. He's a nasty motherfucker. So.
But you see where things have changed though. Like what is?
Yeah, but that's a rarity. That's a rarity.
I mean, he is in the porn industry, so it's rare. Yeah.
Most guys don't want to watch, other guys bang their wives. I mean, that's just not the way it goes.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think it depends what kind
I
of
hear
guy
silence.
you are.
I mean, am I
No,
wrong?
nobody wants.
There's always those fetishes, Dave, but I would agree with you. But the whole point I'm making is that
maybe you guys disagree.
No, it's the same thing with having a girl with your wife. I mean, you don't want to. There's a barrier you can't ever cross.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just.
No, but then
it's not marriage, right, George? It's not marriage. If that's the case, then it's not marriage under God.
Right. There's no point. I don't see what's the point of getting married and I know I have friends that they like to bring girls into the relationships too and all that. Like I wouldn't want to do that to my marriage. It's
not
like
if you're married. No.
I mean that maybe you've had a girlfriend, but still.
Yeah, no, you got to feel.
I'm going to bring a girl special guest on in a minute, and she's going to give us some insights to this. But I first want to ask you, Armand, since if you were found let's put your wife aside. Let's say you're single, you found the woman of your dreams. Everything you want is in this woman, but she had a sordid past. Maybe she made mistakes. She dated too many guys. Maybe there's some videos floating around of her, that she took with the guys, and she's a celebrity. Does that turn you off enough to not want to be with the girl, or do you have to just accept that was her past and that she's not doing that anymore?
Okay, so I've had a lot of instances in my past like that. Like I've met girls, I'm like, this girl's awesome, I'm really into her. And then something comes out, like, okay, she's been with X amount of guys, or there's tapes out there, and I have zero tolerance policy. So for me, I could have a lot of emotions for that girl, and the second I find out all that stuff, they're gone. I think that might have to do with a little bit of cultural, like my Persian side, and then also seeing my mother's side. I was real strict Christian growing up, so for me, yes, I wouldn't tolerate it. I would, and I've done that. I've had girls.
Yeah, but you would fuck her though, because the experience she knows what she's doing.
I'm talking about relationships.
No, he would be turned. He'd be turned off. He wouldn't be able to do it. No, Johnny wouldn't. If I ask Greg, Greg's going to say that's a turn on, right, Greg?
Damn right it is.
Yeah, they got the experience.
Greg's all in her butthole. Dude.
I don't want to teach some girl what to do. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, Greg. I'm with you. Yeah.
Greg likes it. What about you?
No. And the reason why is because to me, I'm past the stage in my life where I would just have sex for self-gratification. It's a deeper thing, and if that person's like that, I'm not sharing my my deeper.
They're not like that anymore. What if they were like that in the past, though? Would you hold it against them?
No, I wouldn't, because that's not fair. That's not fair. But it would take some counseling.
So would you date a porn star?
No.
Oh, I would.
That's different. That's a little different, Johnny.
Hold on a second. No, let's make this clear. In one scenario, that this is her past, and she's coming clean. She's telling you this is my past. In the other scenario, you're electing to go with someone who has an open past.
True.
I think there's a difference. To me, there's a difference.
Larry, let me ask you this question, Larry. Hold on, Larry. If a woman has a past like that, can she change? Or is she going to go back to that eventually? Hold on, you're muted. Hold on.
You're muted, Larry.
Go ahead, Larry.
It depends how long in the past. If she did this in her 20s and now she's in her 40s, and that was 20 years ago, no, I'm not going to hold it against her. If she's 40s and she did this last year, well, that's not going to change. Expect it to continue.
Larry always has the best words of it.
Yeah.
When I was doing all the stripping when I was growing up and all that, I really got to see how horrible women were. Like women getting married in the next few days or the next week. I'm not talking about some of them. Most, 99% of them were willing to sleep with you days before getting married. And so I saw that growing up in my teenage years up until my early 20s when I was doing all the stripping. And that,
Armand, a lot of women don't go to strippers, for their bachelorette parties too. They go out to eat with their friends. So it depends on what kind of woman you're kind of marrying, I guess you could say, you know?
I just don't think marriage is the same as it was. I mean, we all had 30 years ago, it had a different value. It had a different feeling about it. Now, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, this number is pretty high, but I think 90%, and I mean that, I think 90% of marriages fail within 10 years in America now.
Greg, is that why you don't get married?
Damn right. Fuck that. I was married once.
I'll say something. So my ex-wife, she liked girls, and she wanted to have not with other guys, but she wanted to have a relationship with bring girls in. And you know, all guys think, oh, this is cool, right? Well, it wasn't cool because she couldn't deal with it. Wow. So every time she bring a girl over, if either the girl was more into her or more into me, and if the girl was into me, she would be all butthurt and have a fit.
I've had problems like that before too.
So after a short period of time, I'm like, we're not doing this shit anymore. It's too much bullshit. It's not worth it.
If it's somebody
I just read the stat. It says 40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce, and then second marriages end higher with 60 to 67%.
So I'm way off on the numbers, apparently.
It depends how you view marriage. I view marriage like God made a woman for a man, for companionship and for life. So that's how I view it. So
do you think that there's one girl out there for you, or you think it you know?
No,
like,
I think there's not one girl. I think everybody should have God put a person out there for everybody. It doesn't have to be one. It could be like 5 different ones you can find or whatever. But you're not supposed to go through life being lonely.
Let's ask a woman her opinion, because we're a bunch of morons pretty much, and we don't know what the freak are talking about. But women know.
We all get shit.
Speak for you and Greg.
I want to bring in our special guest.
How can we hold a woman to the same standard? Because we all fooled around. I mean, how many times did we fool around?
Well, that's why I want to get the women's perspective.
About 50 times more than they did.
I had sex one time, and I have a child.
If you think you fooled around more than a woman, you're delusional. They have way more opportunity than we do.
They take it to the grave.
Yeah.
I want to ask a woman her opinion, and so
I want to ask this woman her opinion.
I had to bring in a non-American woman because American women are too tainted.
She's a real woman.
She's our special guest today. You guys know who she is. She's the former wife of Rich Piana, Sarah Piana, joining us today. What's up, Sarah?
Hi.
Are you ready to throw up from everything you heard already?
I couldn't hear for a little bit, so I had to go off to come back on. So.
You're better off. What we were talking about is
go up to see me on the panel because she hates my guts, but it's okay.
Yes, I actually don't hate you at all. That's a total misunderstanding.
He's a nice guy.
I understand, though. I'm not causing any trouble. I'm done.
Why do you think? Hold on. Why do you think that Sarah hates you?
Because all the bullshit that we talked about and everything, and you know me, I just run off the mouth. But I'm done.
Do you hate Greg, Sarah?
No, I don't at all. I actually just saw him talk shit about me online, and I was like, I didn't do anything, So I was just, I don't hate him at all. So
you're saying that what Greg was saying and reiterating from what he heard from another source, who we know, it was not true, is what you're saying.
Yes. So the fact that he was talking online about stuff he didn't know, just from one person.
I thought it was because
the right facts. So, it was hurtful. Obviously, just like how everybody were talking shit when they didn't know how things were really. So, but no, Greg, I don't hate you. I actually think you're hilarious. I've been watching the shows, and you're very funny. So you seem like a great guy.
I apologize for hurting your feelings or anybody's feeling. I don't mean to do that. Sometimes I just talk shit, and I got to stop that for Lent. I'm going to give up talking shit.
What your problem is?
Diarrhea of the mouth. Diarrhea of the mouth.
He gets schmoozed over by very good-looking women, and the other woman got to him first, and so he just heard her side of the story, and then he assumed it was real because he was.
No, I just talk too much shit. I got to stop. I got to. Me. I'm a guinea from New York, and we just start running at the mouth when you hear shit, and you get crazy, and that's all. So I don't.
But Greg, let me tell you something. It's a rare thing for you not to like somebody because you like everyone, even the
no. I don't I did talk shit, and I said I apologize for that, but.
John, it's about people not liking.
I want to give a summary of what's going on here, so for people who don't know it, who haven't been living under a rock, they can catch us up. Bravo, you want to do it?
Which part?
The whole shebang.
Well,
Or
between
maybe
her,
Sarah should do it. Sarah,
Look,
you want to
between-
tell us what the whole story of what went on without, do you feel
Yeah.
comfortable? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, after me and Ritz got separated, like we never got divorced or anything like that. So when we got separated, so many people started hating me, saying that I was using him, that I was just a gold digger, just so many awful things that people said.
What made you
And
guys separate, first of all? What was the main reason?
not working out. I mean, we both obviously were at a really bad place. And things just got worse and worse. And, he was getting really annoyed and just, it was just very difficult. I loved him with all my heart, and it was heartbreaking having to walk away. He did not throw me out. I actually chose to leave because I just couldn't do it anymore. And it was very sad.
So what happens after that? Now, how many months after that was it that he passed?
He passed like a year later.
Okay.
So
So Rich went back. He was redating Chanel, the girl he was dating before he met you, right?
yeah, she was already at our house the same week as I left. So
Oh my God.
and people were giving me shit about going into a relationship like a couple months later. I'm like, seriously?
So now what went on in terms of when he passed, you were still legally married to him, correct?
Yes.
And did anyone contact you? I mean, did after he passed?
Well, I actually heard it.
Sarah, we were on the phone, me and you, actually, when you got the call.
Yes, I think that.
Really?
Yeah,
were you
me
doing
and her
on
were on the phone.
What were
yeah.
you doing on the phone with her?
I'm very close. Sarah's one of my best friends. She's been since I started on YouTube, like 2016.
Yeah.
She's been one of my closest friends. She's helped me
I didn't
a
know.
lot, like beyond words. And the thing is, I've heard so many bad things about her. And my experience with her all these years has always been such a good person to me in my life. I never understand all these things that have been coming out with her about her,
Right.
So yeah.
So you guys hear Rich passes, and what goes on? I mean, because you're technically legally his wife,
Mhm.
so technically, shouldn't you have been notified or something like that?
I think it was actually Armand that sent a text to my ex and a boyfriend at the time, and that's how I heard about it. And yeah, and then I remember telling Johnny about it.
Yeah.
She was crying. She was crying. Like, we couldn't believe it was actually true.
Did you get any of Rich's things, money, cars, anything like that after he
No.
passed?
No, nothing. I never wanted anything. I
Right.
told him that from the beginning, and that's why I was like, I even signed a prenup and everything. And even though no one can find the prenup nowadays, so it's just really weird.
Yeah.
I've contacted both attorneys and everything about it because his mom was trying to figure that out. So, but yeah, no, we were married when he passed, and I didn't get anything, didn't want anything. The only stuff I had from him was, clothes and stuff,
Sure.
like personal belongings like that I took with me. And I gave most of it to Christine, because he didn't get anything. So, which I think is really shitty.
Yeah.
I think I was there for y'all's first date. Remember that weekend, the FitCon?
Yes.
Wasn't that the first time y'all met?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, it was FitCon in Dallas, and Sarah came down, and we had a lot to talk about because she played in the Gothia Cup too. It's a high soccer tournament over there in Sweden, and yeah, but that was her and Rich's first date time meeting, and
right. So what was all the drama about that got drummed up after his death? Because you got nothing. Yes, you were his wife legally, but you didn't get anything. So what were people upset about?
Well, Sarah, not to cut you off before she says anything, because Dave, that brings up something I want to ask her, to remind her of. She took a lot of heat because that video of Rich when he died, okay, not when he died, when he was in the hotel room, seemed like he was very drugged up, out of it.
Right. I remember.
She took heat for two reasons. One, why did she record it in the first place? Number two, why did she give it to someone, or how did they get it? So, Sarah, you want to touch on that?
Yeah.
On those two things.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hold on. Yeah, there we go.
You remember that, Dave, right?
Yes, I remember. There was the video of Rich all messed up, and people wanted to know. I figured the reason you took it, and you can answer this, would be because in case anything ever went wrong, you wanted to, have some evidence. But
She's talking
how
here.
how it got leaked, I don't
She's
know.
muted, yeah.
No, is she?
Yeah,
we can't hear her.
No, she's not really muted. We just can't hear her.
Yeah, tell her.
We
She
can't
might
hear
Sarah,
be
you,
we
Sarah.
can't hear you. We can't hear you, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, maybe reconnect.
Should I kick her?
Johnny,
think-
text her.
Ah!
You have her
I don't
number.
think
Text
she
her.
knew either.
Dave gave her
Kick her.
the
Let her resign
Johnny,
in again.
text her.
I'll text her, but you guys keep
Hey,
talking.
hey, John, what was
Yeah.
that phone call? And I'm sorry to bring up such a bad memory, but when that phone call came notifying her of Rich's death, what did they actually say? How did he die?
Well, it was during the time. Remember when Rich was in a coma in the hospital?
Yeah.
And we all didn't know if they were going to pull the plug or if he was going to die. We were all just waiting. So me and her were on the phone a lot during that time because of those things. I was
See if you
afraid.
could hear my voice.
Can we hear you, Sarah?
Yeah. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
there you go.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can answer the question now.
Yes. So does that happen? Like you get disconnected or?
You never know. It's called the Whack Pack Show, so you never.
It's all
know.
Greg's fault.
You know what happened? Somebody probably tried to call her. It quickly.
Jimmy, yeah, it's if someone calls you, it'll knock you off sometimes.
Sleep priest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you have your do not disturb on, like
Yeah.
your.
Okay.
Good morning, Lee. Lee's
Turn on real
waking
quick so
up
people
now.
can't
It's 4
call
in the
you.
morning.
Okay, I put the do not disturb on. So yeah, so after she came to the hotel, she didn't want to call the ambulance, and she said, "Let's just wait it out. Let's just give him something to eat and drink, and he should be better," which he did, and he actually afterwards, when he got around to it and started feeling better, she showed him the video, and he was like, "Oh my God, if you wouldn't have recorded this video, I would have never believed you guys that I was, that bad, that things were that bad." So after that, after we went home, we got our shit together and tried to get sober and all that. So basically, so I had that video, and Jane also had that video. So I have I would never post something like that online. Like, horrible.
It was like an intervention
so,
type.
but
thing.
they were all
You didn't do it.
No, I didn't do it. And there were other people that had access to my phone and had the recording. So I have no idea how that surfaced.
Sarah,
on
do you
me.
think it was an intervention type thing of having him take a look at himself? So that,
Yeah. He was just like in shock after seeing the video, and he was like, "Thank God you guys recorded it, because I would have never believed you guys." So
Wow.
it's hard.
But,
It's hard for
yeah,
someone
So
who's
what
in-
you're saying is someone got that video, and you
Yeah.
said that you do know that supposedly his ex-wife Jane had the video. You said.
yeah.
So you think maybe she put it up? Is that yours?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me just to try to ruin stuff for me. She never liked me from the beginning. So
Right. So someone basically framed you, is what you're saying, and that's why how that video got up there.
yeah, I would never ever post anything like
Right.
that.
And
Sarah,
she
I'm-
stuck with that story, Dave. She stuck with that story with me from day one because I asked her about it at the time too. And she's not like,
Look, I know you. It didn't seem like it was in your character to do it. It makes sense that you didn't do it. I mean, because you didn't go look. She could have gone after all his belongings. She was still married to him. I mean, obviously that wasn't something that she wanted. So, I mean, it's.
I'm sure you've dealt with a lot of jealousy, being who you are, and how must that have been? I'm sure that there was more other relationships that you may have not known about.
What do you mean?
Like,
Are you asking if Rich cheated on her? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Were there a lot? Was this a continual thing? Were there a lot of other girls?
No, Rich was actually very loyal. Like, he was literally, he's like the only guy that I've been in a relationship with that I fully trusted regarding that. Like, he was loyal and I had nothing to worry about. So, I mean, he was a good guy.
Was he overly protective? I think I heard you say before.
Yeah,
Very good.
he was.
So
So he didn't want you talking to any other guys. Is that what it was?
Well, he never had to worry about that. He even told me one time at an expo, he's like, I just absolutely love that thing about you, that you're not talking to all the guys here at the expo, this or that. Like, you're just so respectful. You show me so much respect. And he's like, I really appreciate that. I've never experienced that before. So I think it's just very important when you're in a relationship to respect the person you're with, you know, regarding the opposite sex. So
when you heard us talking before about this whole thing with Logan Paul's supposedly ex or his girlfriend has like kind of a sordid past with a lot of relationships with celebrities and stuff like that. There's a couple of videos. Oh, we lost her again. Would you hold? I mean, how do you feel about the past, people's past? Should that be in the past, or you think it should be something that should be addressed? You know, when you get in a relationship with someone.
I think we lost her.
I lost her again. Hey, sorry about that. Can you hear us now, Sarah?
yes, I can.
Okay. Do you think that a person's past should be held against them in a relationship, or do you think what's in the past is in the past and everything should be, you know, let's worry about the future and the current?
Are you familiar with Logan Paul and Nina Agdal?
I don't really know much about all that stuff, but
This is where this is stemming from.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. I mean, I just want to know what she thinks about, like, you know, should people's past be held against them, you know, in a current relationship? If you find out like someone was very, you know, a girl was out there and got around, the guy got around too much. I mean, should that be something that's addressed, or should you just leave it in the past?
Well, I think that things should be discussed for sure. And, you know, we all have a past, and, you know, we all did some shit in our past that we're not proud of. And, you know, that's life. So I just think that as long as you talk about it, you're upfront and honest from the beginning, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Plus, you don't know what to believe and what's true. Because let me tell you something. Just because the girl took pictures with a lot of other influencers, she herself was trying. And I saw the whole video where she was saying stuff like, oh, I need a big dick, I'm horny and all. But a lot of that shit is talk. When I was in high school, I dated this chick. She was the hottest chick in school. And every guy used to tell me, oh, bro, my friend fucked her. Oh, bro. Now, remember, I graduated in the 70s. I'm 63 years old. But, you know, when I dated her and she was my girlfriend, I dated her 3 years and we never had sex. She was a virgin. She wanted to save it for marriage. So if I listened to all these guys who told me that their friends fucked her or their friends did this, and I was very close with her. So what I'm telling you is you can't believe what other people say. Today with the internet, these girls are doing this for hits. It doesn't mean that she doesn't love Logan Paul or that Logan Paul probably doesn't love her. You know what I mean? I believe that they love each other. Okay, she made some maybe bad decisions with, you know, taking photos with everybody, but that's a girl trying to get her own, you know, her own social media thing going. So I don't know that just because she's taking pictures with people, that doesn't mean she fucked any one of those guys. You can't judge her on that. Every single girl and their brother today is trying to get that social media thing going, and they'll grab a shot with a guy, or they'll grab a shot with somebody. That doesn't mean she was banging him. She may be so loyal to Logan Paul. If Logan Paul was sitting here right now, he might tell you guys what you see and what you hear, what you think you know. You don't know. I know this girl. I'm sure he didn't marry her because, you know, knowing like, oh, well, she's been with 100 different guys.
They're not married, are they?
They're engaged. And the whole thing is the guy's trying to warn him.
I'm sure that if everybody was with her, she's taking photos with guys. She's not naked with guys. She's not, you know what I mean? I know what she said in that one video. I saw it.
She wants the Italian sausage to destroy her body.
Yeah, but she's Italian sausage. You know, listen.
You got the sausage.
I'm Italian. I got the Italian sausage.
I got the sausage, yeah.
But listen, but that doesn't mean that she's going to. That's talk. You see these girls, they say that because they're trying to get, you know.
Yeah, they're really vegetarians. They don't even eat meat.
Is it hard to have a relationship as a celebrity? That's really the question. I mean, I got to imagine that if you're dating another celebrity, it's got to be brutal because there's so much. Everyone's filming everyone, and you know, you have to kiss everyone and hold hands and hugging this person, and there can be a lot of jealousy if you're not a very secure person in yourself. I mean, Sarah said it. Rich, as much as he was super loyal to her, he was very insecure because he was always worried that she was going to cheat on him or something like that. And that's a uncomfortable place to be in a relationship where the other person
Which
is so
actually
worried all the
He
time.
was loyal, and apparently women are throwing themselves at him.
Yeah, but you know what though? That brings up something important. Sarah, let me ask you, was he insecure? Because he had body image issues, obviously, like most of us who get involved in this. But how did that play a role in his life with you? And what did you notice about his body image issues? Because I think people would like to have insight on that. Oh, I think we lost her voice.
Somebody keeps calling. That's what it is.
Her.
You think
Well,
that's
Rich, like the times I, hung out with Rich, he wasn't like, let's say someone would be talking about locker room talk, like one of my other buddies. He wouldn't really engage in that. He wasn't really a guy that wanted to go out and party and hook up with girls and stuff like that. So he was like a relationship type guy, like the times I hung out with him and went to.
Are you kidding me? I know Rich personally, and I would go to the after party things, and he was high off his mind.
Woo! Here we go.
I'm just telling you my
come on.
I bet it was before Armand.
Was he trying to pick girls up, or was he just high?
He was so loaded, I don't think he knew what he was doing.
That's a different story.
This was recent. So this was
after the LA Fit Expo, he threw a party, and everybody there was getting 5% tattoos on. They were all on drugs, and he was so wasted. I don't think he knew which way was what.
What year, bro?
Oh, I don't remember. That had to be like 2010. No, more than that. 2012
is when I was around him. So
yeah.
And Dave, the reason why I brought that up,
I won this. He did this little bodybuilding contest at the LA Fit Expo after party, and told me go compete. And I didn't have posing trunks, so I did it in my underwear, and I won. I got this. I still have the sword. I get this sword from him.
You still have the underwear?
Greg wants to buy him.
Dave, you know the reason why I brought that question up, right?
Tell us.
Huh?
Tell us.
Oh, the reason why I brought that question up with Sarah, which she didn't get to answer, was because I wanted to know, because I took a lot of shit for saying that stuff about the silicone. And again, this is not to dishonor Rich or do anything like that, just to clear things up. Did you have any insight, because he had body image issues. Everyone always wondered what was in him. And I had, on an RX show, I had said that he had silicone injected in his body because I had sources that had told me that and showed me things. What do you have to say? Do you know anything about any of that stuff? What do you have to say about it?
Well, it's true. He did have silicone in his body.
It was PMMA.
Well, like some PMMA, some silicone. And I saw him do it in a couple of places. And then he also did it to me. So, yeah.
Where did he put silicone in you?
In my ass.
Did he do a good job?
Thinks it's
like, I don't know what I was thinking,
Did he do a good job?
I think so. Yeah, I mean,
did you have any problems?
I know what the next question Dave's going to say. So,
no. Was there any problems related to it? Did you have any issues?
No, no issues. Everything good, and obviously I was really worried about having issues regarding it.
Right.
But he was like, no, it's fine, 100% okay. I'm just blindly believing him. You know what I mean?
Did they put it inside the muscle or under the skin? How does that go?
How deep is it?
Yeah.
It's over the muscle.
Really? Over the muscle. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What length of needle we're talking? 1 inch or less? No less.
Well, he had like 16 gauge needles.
Wow.
Wow.
No.
So much. Oh my God.
Hey, no, 16.
So everybody thinks it's synthol, and I always tell people it's not synthol.
Hold on, I need to hear someone say this.
No, she's saying it's silicone.
Right, but everybody thinks it's synthol.
I brought it up before, and they gave me shit.
That's not synthol.
Yeah.
So no, let me ask.
It's the gauge I'm tripping about.
The silicone. So what are they molded under the skin once he shoots it in there?
So basically he just shoots it in and puts it in different places,
right,
where he wants it, and it's just over the muscle. I'm not really sure 100%.
Can you feel it? Is it like hard there, or what does it feel like?
Yeah, I mean you can feel it.
Oh, okay.
You can
Yeah.
feel like the little beads, right? Like if you push hard.
Yeah,
Little
I mean,
beads, yeah.
We
Has
lost
it
her.
changed? Is
doesn't
it still
look real,
the same,
obviously,
or has
but
it
he was
gone
trying
away?
to make it look as real as possible. Yeah, it's but it doesn't hurt. I heard you guys talk about it in another show. Like, doesn't hurt to sit on it and stuff like that. But sometimes if you sit for too long, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. You like gotta switch an ass cheek or something, you know. So
So it's still like that. It hasn't changed. It's still the same as it was in the beginning.
yes.
Permanent.
Wow. Okay,
Sarah,
so
Sarah,
let's
where did
ask
you get
her.
the silicone from?
Does she think? Do you think that girl has it in her butt? That
Wait, I mean, important question though. I mean, before you ask that, because people have been asking, you know, was it? I heard it was industrial grade silicone,
Yeah.
like
Yes,
not
it
like
is.
like where did he get it from?
From some gay guy he knew that could get it.
always a gay guy.
Something, yeah, something really good. He said it was like the top of the top. So I mean, I'm not 100%
Greg,
sure.
how
about
come the gay guys always have access to all these things, Greg?
I have no idea because they
I
know the
do.
trannies. The
I know.
trannies fucking
The
the
G and all
trannies
that.
shoot that in the ass, but the smart ones shoot it. You got to shoot it into the muscle, not under. They do a lot. Most of them do it under the skin, like Sarah was saying.
Right.
But then that can migrate more. You know, if it's in the muscle, it's a different. When Rich stuck it in himself, I'm sure he didn't stick it under the skin. I'm pretty sure it went
Right.
into the muscle.
Yeah,
You know?
his did definitely. Yeah, for them. Yeah,
Because
his
the
arm.
trannies, they stick that shit. Some have it done under the ass, you know, the skin, and then some have it done into the muscle deep. So the muscle,
Right.
it comes out like this and it stays there. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
So
my
it
friend
just
and my
depends
client,
what to do.
my friend and my client, he had a torn bicep. I sent him to my plastic surgeon friend. I think I told him they charged him $10,000 just for half of the bicep, but
How'd it look?
it looked amazing.
Really?
But it wasn't just it was fillers. They used different kind of fillers on. I forgot what fillers they used, permanent fillers. It wasn't just silicone, so it looked amazing though. But you know,
I didn't know
what's
the
funny?
doctors could actually use silicone like that. In that,
Dave, I
capacity.
got to tell you something. You know what's funny about that? Because I got the hole in my fucking one bicep that I've had forever. That's why they want.
Why don't you go to his doctor? Yeah.
No, wait,
I
listen.
think we spoke about it
went-
before, Greg.
I was friends with Nadler, right? Through Dr. Bruce
Well,
Nadler.
he's like Dr. Kevorkian.
Oh,
I mean,
Steve Blackman's the one. Wait, listen. He goes to me. I'm gonna put like a spackle. Like I'll build this rubber piece, and it'll go in there, and it'll be like a spackle. And I said, "Well, won't that shit move?" And he goes to me, "Nah, it won't move." So when I told Steve Blackman about it, right? Steve Blackman goes, "You can't go to him. He's not even a plastic surgeon." And I'm going,
No.
"What?" Because I thought he was a plastic surgeon.
No,
He's like
not.
a ear, nose, and throat doctor that was practicing plastic surgery. My friend had calf implants from him, and they dropped down to his ankles. My other friend had a pec implant. He had a pec implant, and he called me. I think I told you this, where he said, "Hey, Craig, man, I need some fucking, maybe letrozole or something." I'm like,
I
"What's the
saw
matter?"
it on the internet. I saw that.
Wait, listen. He goes, "I got a bitch tit." He goes, "But it's like 3 inches above my nipple." And I go, "How the fuck can you get a bitch tit 3 inches above your nipple? That's not a bitch tit." So he went to another doctor. He got it checked, and it was an infection because when Nadler put in the pec implant, it was 2 years. The infection just like grew, and then he had to have the pecs taken out, and he had like holes in his chest, like
my
two
God,
holes where
horrible.
they're supposed to be. Nadler was a wacko.
So
and this is supposed to be fitness.
My plastic surgeon friend also, what he's doing with bikini girls now, costs about $1,500. He can put Botox around their waist, so their waist kind of like droops in more.
Atrophies, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's interesting. I've never heard of that.
So it looks good. Like if their waist looks a little too thick for a bikini girl, he could put costs about $1,500, and it just atrophies a little bit and makes her waist smaller.
See, I'm not opposed to that because it's not permanent. My thing, which I'm asked Sarah is this uncomfortable? Are you not happy that it's? Are you happy that
it's not uncomfortable? She already said it's not uncomfortable.
Yeah, because she sits down and all that. So I mean, this is the type of thing could be avoided with a deeper shot, or is it just something you shouldn't use?
It's not uncomfortable. I mean,
I know. So can you just avoid it, or is something that shouldn't be used? You think?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, because it's there forever. I even went to a plastic surgeon here because I get worried. Oh my God, is something gonna happen? I'm getting sick or something.
Yeah.
And the plastic surgeon was just like, just leave it alone, leave it. If there's no problems, just leave it. Because if I want to get it removed, it's going to be a huge surgery and it's going to be.
Sarah, the reason I'm asking this is a very close friend of mine. His wife had stage 4 cancer, and they're looking back on it now, and they're thinking it's because of a silicone breast implant that leaked. So, you know,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it's pretty clear because it was in the area. In that
I think, you know what I think? I think some people have autoimmune-ish reactions to silicone, and because, you know, even the implants, they don't have to leak. The casings are made of silicone, you know. So if you have an autoimmune reaction, you're going to have it. It might take years to develop, but usually after a couple of years, if you don't have a reaction, they you know, it usually means that your immune system is not going to react to it, because what happens is your immune system builds up a barrier around it. So,
and in this case, there's no way, there's no such a thing as leakage, right? It's contained.
No, it's just there. I mean, if she hasn't had a response to it already, she's probably not going to have a response to it. I mean, it's in her body, you know.
Yeah. Do you think?
I mean, look at the wellness stage; it's getting out of control. With on the wellness stage, all their gluten.
That's what I was about to say. The doctor.
Yeah, we did videos about her.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Is this what is this?
There's a girl that I know that is a bikini competitor, and she told me that they're going down to Mexico and having silicone parties.
Yeah, that's what
where they're not even a doctor involved. They just go there and they like all inject each other in their butt.
Oh my God.
Larry, they have it in New York. They have it in New York City, and they have it down in Florida. You know, that's where all the.
There's no doctor involved. Nothing. They just do this stuff.
Oh, what for a trophy?
It's exactly.
Some of it's not even for a trophy.
Some of them just want an Instagram following.
What I'm saying is that,
Dave, there's a lot of psychological addiction to this too, because what Larry's talking about, that's a little mentally disturbing.
But let me ask you this question, since the follow up on Johnny Bravo's question: was Rich happy with the way he looked once he got to a certain point? I mean, did he say, "Okay, you know what? I'm big enough now. This is good"?
I don't think he was ever happy with the way he looked. He was always improving, changing looks. So,
what was he unhappy with with the point you were in a relationship with him?
You mean like regarding his looks, or?
Yeah, regarding his looks. Yeah.
He was just always, improving. Just being his best self and doing his best every day, and always very positive and motivational regarding that, which I loved about him. But I do wish he would have been more happy with himself and how he looked, because
I mean, because he was a good looking guy. What did he want fixed? I mean, what did he think needed to be improved upon?
I guess it's just this image, the bigger than life image that he was, showing to the world, and this freakish physique and everything. So it was always doing more and more. And
did he view himself as a successful man? Because on the outside, I think people looking in viewed him as a very successful man.
Yeah, I do believe that he thought he was very successful, with which he was. He worked really hard every single day. He was always working.
So if
there's just not a bodybuilder on the planet who's happy with the way they look. That's why we're bodybuilders. Right. That's why we're freaks. Dude, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's where the whole stay hungry thing comes. The day you look at yourself in the mirror and go, dude, look at you. You got it going on. It's the day we always see the flaws. Always. You know,
great, but you and you had something in common with Rich, because you both injected stuff directly into the muscle to make it grow.
But I'm an ugly motherfucker. Rich was a good-looking guy. I look like fucking Uncle Fester on steroids.
Great. That's true. We're not arguing that. You're right. But my point is, you're right. A lot of bodybuilders don't cross that line. It's just, some people might use a little bit. But
fucking guys that taking insulin could fucking kill you in 2 seconds. They'll take whatever. You told guys to take like ass hair in a capsule or fucking toilet water and inject it and get jacked. They would do it.
I'm not judging. But when I say you look at the top, even Hottie got marked down for the lump in his shoulder, whatever it was. Okay, it might have been that.
We got marked down when we won in Mr. Olympia.
Let me
You know?
let me tell you guys something.
Yeah, sorry.
So Rich came to me a couple weeks before the very last show that he did, and he said he wanted me to help him with his contest prep, like 2 weeks out, like I could really do something 2 weeks out. Anyways, he flexes his arm. He tells me it's 24 inches. And I said to him, "What's in your arm?" He goes, "Nothing, just site injections." I'm like, "Come on, dude, this is me. I can see it. It looks like there's a football in your arm. There's no separation between your bicep and tricep." He didn't like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I try to do his contest prep like he was going to the Cal. I think it was a Cal. And do his diet and whatever all the way up. The night before the show, I text him like, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm at the all-you-can-eat smorgasbord, some Swedish Inn or something like this." And I'm like, "Why are you there?" And he's like, just told me like fuck off or something like that. He was just mental. I'm like, "You're the night before. You're supposed to go like the night after the show, not the night before." Like you went through all this stuff we did for 2 weeks. And then,
Did he win that show? Because he did win the Cal, didn't he?
no. He won the Cal way long.
Way before that, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, you know what I just remembered too, Sarah? There was an audio recording of Rich, remember, that was leaked, and he said that Big Boy stole it from him.
Mhm.
You know which one I'm talking about? Do you have any details on that?
Well, explain what you're talking about, because a lot of people don't know what you're talking about, John.
There was a leaked audio of Rich and a whole conversation, 30 minutes between him and Sarah fighting.
Mhm.
And
Right.
they wondered about that. And supposedly Big Boy, who there's a lot of there was supposedly a lot of problems with him behind the scenes, which maybe Sarah can touch on as well, if she wants to. Supposedly he stole that audio recording or got his hands on it, and that's how it got leaked out. I'm not sure. That's why I want to ask her.
I have no idea how that audio recording got out. But there were a few people that had it. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously I would never post that myself. But regarding everything, the stealing and breaking in and everything, a lot of people were saying that me and Big Boy were in on it together. Like I've never heard anything as ridiculous in my life.
Yep, that's what I was hearing too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I barely talked to Big Boy ever, when he would come over and buy steroids and stuff like that. Like I even was supposed to be on another level in the house. So that's bullshit. But
let me ask you this question, Sarah. Why do you think that Rich was selling steroids when he was making good money, legitimately?
probably just because he made so much, It
Dave,
was a
that's
lot.
the stupidest question. I fucking sold. I was making. It didn't matter. Poor man want to be rich. Rich man want to be king. King ain't satisfied till he rules everything. If you're still making money, when I was drug dealing, I was dealing with a famous mafia guy's son. You know what I'm saying? And he used to say to us, "Bro, you do this until you either get caught or you get killed." Because I was with some bad people here. So he was right. Nobody fucking makes a lot of money selling shit, right? And then says, "You know what? I think I made enough. I'm going to stop doing it." You can't help it. It's a fucking money trade,
I think it's more than Greg. I think it's more than just money. I think it's you have all these people that are famous or doing well, or there's somebody, and they're coming to you. I mean, there's.
I'm
Yeah,
going to tell you guys
can shut it
something.
down if you wanted, nobody's going to shut that down.
You probably won't want to hear, but this is a fact. He was an informant. He informed on me. He tried to set me up 2 different times.
Rich did?
Yeah, I was his supplier. He straight up tried to set me up.
Go,
Yeah.
Rory, for being honest. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, so
I never heard
caught.
that.
I lived in Mexico, and I would always everything was sent in the mail. I never met anybody in person, and he never.
Right,
missed
you told this, but yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he never missed getting a package. And all of a sudden, he's telling me, "Oh, I don't want to do this mail stuff anymore. We need to meet in person. Let's meet at a gym, and you could put it in a locker." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm out of the country. I have no reason to meet you in person.
Whoa.
There's no reason for that." And he's like, "Well, yeah, that's what I want to do." And I'm like, "Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to meet you in person." And then the next thing you know, I'm getting a letter and a PO box, and he's the one that freaking tipped off my Belizean bank account to the authorities because I only dealt with a handful of people, and I gave him the information so he could wire money to the Belize bank account, Right after I gave it to him, I get contact by the police bank, said you got to get your money out.
Boom.
Like right now.
Boom.
Yeah, I believe you talked about that before. And like
Oh.
being someone as well known as Rich, how can they not target him for being a steroid?
Wait, ask Sarah, guys. Ask Sarah if she knows anything
He
about.
got
This is the
busted
first one.
multiple times, and then he would just inform, so he just keep going.
Right.
Sarah, have you heard this before?
So, Larry, so when was this? Was this like 2015 or something?
No. This
Before
is 2006.
It's before you were with him. Yeah, before you were with him.
Oh, okay, because the story
this is-
and you know
This is
about meeting
2006, and then afterwards, like this is like 3 years later, I'm out on federal bond. I go by his house because I'm not selling stuff anymore. I want to get something just for my personal use, and there's two weird guys there. I don't know. They looked weird, and maybe I didn't know what they were doing there. But he's like, "I can't meet with you now. You got to get out of here." So I leave. And then I get a call like an hour later from Scott Mendelson. He goes, "You better watch yourself." And I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? Watch myself." He goes, "I know what happened." I'm like, "What do you mean what happened?" He goes, "Rich told me like you brought the feds to his house." I'm like,
What?
I brought the feds to his house? Like, what the fuck?
You just got out.
No, he told me to fuck off, get out of here. He can't deal with me now. Like, you know me better than that. I'm the last one to do that.
Damn.
So he was trying to turn it around on me. And then I saw him at the Fit Expo, his big ass, and he wouldn't even make eye contact with me. He just I looked at him like, "You piece of shit," and he just wouldn't look at me.
Who's Scott or Rich?
Rich.
Oh, okay.
And Mendelson knew. After I talked to him, he's like, "Yeah, I know that's bullshit," because he knows
Larry,
I wouldn't
keeping
do
it
that.
real, man. Keeping it real.
It's
Respect
the
that.
truth.
That's respect.
That's
That's why
what year was
you're
that?
OG, bro. That's
What
why
year
you're
was that?
OG.
Probably like 2011.
Oh, wow.
So Dave, if he kept on doing it, because I did a video where I showed all the bottles that he had in his house on the floor.
Yeah.
If he kept on doing it up until his death, that means
Bottles of what, John?
technically he was still involved as an informant if what Larry is saying is true.
Bottles
Wait,
of
are we getting a little dirty here, though? This guy's been dead for how many years?
I know, no, I agree.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
I agree.
I know, but it's done. There's nothing you
Yeah, I
can do
agree.
about it. It's the past. It's
Well, yeah, but
fucking-
you know what? It involves.
We're kind of like digging up.
We're talking about reputations, I guess. You know,
I feel a little dirty sitting here.
No, but but Greg, saying that
I
though,
feel
this
like
is one
somebody
thing.
farted in the room. Really?
No, Greg,
hard.
I get it, but let me tell you something. This is the one thing that's fucked up in all this. Okay, Sarah told me when Rich was alive, he couldn't read the comments in his comment section because there was so much hate involved in it, and it killed him as a person.
Listen,
right?
my girlfriend.
No,
Hold on,
Greg,
Greg.
Greg,
Hold on,
Greg,
hold on, Greg.
Listen to the point. Listen to the point I'm saying.
You know
When
what I'm
Rich
saying?
died,
hold on,
when Rich died,
Greg, 1 second.
when Rich died, tell me he's not the most loved personality in fitness, how much he's changed all of it and how important he is to the legacy of it all. It's sad that the people didn't say the good things about him when he was alive because
Yeah,
he
but
died not knowing that.
You're right.
But don't you think, like, instead of like glorifying him, we're fucking like, and I understand what Larry's saying. 'cause I
Greg,
would
sorry,
like the guy-
I'm sorry, but
They shouldn't
I'm
be
not going to
glorifying.
glorify. I'm not going to glorify somebody who's a rat.
Exactly.
I'm
I have
not-
No. Hold on, Greg, hold on. I know there's no one that could come and say I ever snitched on anyone. And I listen, hey,
I never said
it is what it
anybody
is,
either.
man. I've never snitched on anybody. If anyone
Me
thinks they
neither.
can bring that forward, bring that shit forward.
But wait, but that's got nothing to do with this. What I'm saying, and I'm not saying Larry should be, not talking about it. I'm just sitting here saying, like, all right, so instead of talking about like, Sarah's probably sitting there going, what the fuck did I get myself into talking
Greg,
to these
it's a
fucking guys?
personal thing. He's
You're
saying this
asking her
happened
like,
to him.
did Rich ever throw a fart when you guys had sex or anything?
Yeah, but-
like,
but-
you want to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but
I just
Larry,
feel like-
but not to discount Larry, what you're saying. I've dug a lot into the history of Rich and things like this before in the past with other people who are personalities in this business. I haven't heard that story about Rich before.
Well, I told
I
it
have.
before on
Yeah, I don't know why I've never heard that
might not have
story.
been on that
I've never
show.
heard it from
years
anyone
straight.
else. Yeah, I never
This
heard
is-
it from anyone else. But I'm
This
not
is-
saying I don't
for
believe
3
you.
years, I was his supplier.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm the one that he got everything.
So
from.
yeah, so when we're not talking like third hand shit. This is it happened to him. So he has the right to say this, you know, and it's
No,
not. Like
I'm not saying he doesn't have the right. I respect Larry. Larry's to me is one of my boys now.
Though, Greg, you know.
I'm just no, I'm not saying it's hearsay, but you know, I look at the guy who ratted on me, did me a fucking favor. I was the only guy sitting in jail going, dude, I'm a biggest fucking asshole. I'm thinking about jumping over the fucking railing and hitting my head so I can fucking end it all.
Well, I don't think he did me a favor.
Well, wait, guys, you guys didn't let Sarah finish because there was an important thing about Big Boy and the robbery in the house. There's this whole thing that happened. Everyone wondered about.
Okay.
And we've never heard
I
Sarah's
want to
story.
know what's going on because why are they pinning it on her?
Sarah, tell him you don't remember.
Yeah, so basically people are thinking that me and Big Boy were in on this together. I had nothing to do with this. Why the hell would I have someone break into my house when I'm not at home, where my dogs are, which are like my kids, and have, you know, them be in jeopardy of something happening to them? You know, like when I heard the news, like I was so scared and I started crying and I was in so much shock. So like I had nothing to do with that. That shit was just between Ritz and Big Boy, you know.
Wait, can I say my childhood friend was one of my drug dealing partners, and he fucking was robbing the shit out of me, and I didn't even know it. So this is normal. Look at Larry. Larry just said that him and Rich were close, and Rich was trying to, you know, do things. You know, fuck him. I'm just saying it's normal. So if this guy, I don't even know who this big guy is, Big Boy, whatever.
No, it's a good
but
story.
I'm saying it like if that shit happened, you know, it happened. It's done. One guy's, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, and it's been gone for a while now. So like, I just feel like, okay, we're kind of like, you know, this is going to make a juicy title for Dave to put on a fucking.
No,
you know,
Greg. I don't look at it that way. There's things that have been rumors for a long time, and it's never been cleared up. Sarah's finally on here. I think people want to know about these things.
Yeah, Greg.
I just look at it as like.
I will 100% swear on a Bible or whatever you want that this is true.
Relax, dude.
I would not make this shit up.
No one's implicating you,
My
Greg.
childhood friend was robbing it, and I kept
Hey,
saying,
my
Greg, what you're saying is, Greg, you're saying there's no honor among thieves.
Right. Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Greg,
we're not talking.
Greg,
we're not talking about Rich robbing. We're talking about Big Boy robbing.
I'm telling you, but the thing is, this Big Boy guy.
Why did Big Boy try to rob Rich?
That's what I'm saying. Let Sarah tell the story.
What was the reason, Sarah, behind that?
So it was not Big Boy himself that actually did it. He got some Mexican guys to do it. It was just because of you know, the thing that Ritz and Big Boy not getting along. Big Boy wanting to go on his own, and Ritz apparently, you know, not liking that or something. And apparently Ritz was being disrespectful and rude to him, and you know, something. So I mean, I don't know all the details about it, but it was just like Big Boy was really unhappy with Ritz and vice versa. And they were just like, you know, bumping heads about it. And then before we know it, we get robbed twice.
There are guys watching this that are jerking off hearing these stories. I swear to God, they're sick fucks.
But Greg, that had to be very scary, Sarah, to get robbed.
But the thing. It happens. Two friends are best friends one day. They're fucking doing drugs together. One guy looks over the fences. He's making more money than me. He's fucking me. The other guy looks over the other side of the fence. That's what happens.
Wait, Greg, since when you don't like gossip?
Greg,
you like gossip, Greg.
You don't rob a house when there's a woman home, you know, there who doesn't have anything to do with it.
Dude, the guy came to my house. My children came to my house at 2 a.m. My fucking wife had to put the kids in the fucking bathroom and lock themselves in the bathroom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Listen, can I tell you something? I had 2 handguns on me, and he's lucky he just left. I'm lucky he just left because my mindset was, you're at my house. I'm not only going to kill you, but I'm going to unload the fucking guns in you. I was arrested with those 2 handguns. My mindset was like that. My wife was fucking cowering in a bathroom.
What did they steal from you?
My daughter, who was 1 year old, and my son, who was like 7. You know what I mean?
I don't understand.
What did they steal from you?
But that motherfucker's lucky, because if he was there, I would have killed him. I'm lucky.
What did they take?
Murder. What?
What did they take from you?
Oh, dude, I had fucking all kinds of shit. What it was I had money hidden, and he was trying to get the money, but he took, you know what he did? We were selling the trannies. We were selling them estradiol cypionate, right? So we had Parabol, real Parabol, all this other shit. All of a sudden, I get this fucking call. My friend tells me, bro, you're not going to believe this. Some fucking guy up north is, I don't want to say too much because, you know, people watch, but some guy up north was, and Dave, you know who the one guy is, okay? He telling me, Greg, we got to get this motherfucker. He's up north. He's selling estradiol cypionate because the word cypionate, they thought it was testosterone because they're too fucking stupid. You understand what I'm saying? So we knew right then and there who it was that fucking robbed us. And I found out a lot of other shit later on. But, you know, this one guy was my childhood friend. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit, you know, that I can say.
Hey, Greg, let me ask you, since when? Wait, Greg, since when you don't like gossip, you asshole? You're trying to stop the gossip on this fucking show, and that's what this show's about.
Let me just tell you guys something.
You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the guy's dead, and we're bringing up shit that's like fucking 10, 15,
Let me
20 years
just
old.
tell you.
We're not talking bad about him.
All right, whatever.
Go ahead.
Wait, when I was 20 years old and I got in trouble, I had $100,000 bond, and my friend, who's a Hell's Angel, who I was training with, came and bailed me out. He put his building up for me, and I asked him. I said, "Why'd you do that?" And he said, "Because I know you won't fuck me." And a few months later, they wanted to put me back in on $1 million bond, and I asked my lawyer, "What should I do?" He said, "You have to go." So I did it, and I knew damn well I wasn't getting out. And I had multiple times where they came to me and said to me, "We can let you out today if you just tell us about this, this, and that." And I said, "Thanks, I have nothing to say." So not everybody does that. I did all my time, every single day of it. I never ratted on anybody.
I never
That's
ratted.
rare, though. Yeah, that's rare.
I never rat. They didn't even give me a chance to fucking rat. There was nobody I could rat on. I was the shit. You know what I mean? I was the guy.
They came to me after I was in prison for already like 3 years and asked me about, I can't even say what it is because it would implicate too many things. But they said, "We can let you out right now." And I said, "Can I go back to my cell? I'm fine." "Yeah, I'm fine. I got 4 more years."
You have to live with yourself. You know, they all, you know, they came to me and said, "What do you know?" You know, about, they wanted me to tell them about Balco. I said, "I don't know anything." You know, that was the end of it. You know, did my time.
The clear and the cream, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
thought I
can't-
knew about it.
I
I
can't-
didn't know, but I would have told them anyway. But I mean,
That's
I
because we worked with Patrick Arnold.
I heard it was good stuff.
I can't stand when people they are and what they're about. You know?
But Larry, you know, there's a lot of people in this industry, not talking about Rich in general, that are informants. You know that.
Yeah, probably more than not.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Probably.
Armin, I don't know. He knows it too.
My best friend who I grew up with, his bodybuilder named Eddie Delco, tried to set me up before I got in trouble when I was young. I get a call from another friend of ours. She said, "You know, your friend Eddie got busted with cocaine." I'm like, "No, really? I just got off the phone with him." He's like, "Yeah, stay away from him." So later that night, I go to his house and I knock on his window and I'm like, "I got to talk to you. Come outside." So he comes out. We get in the car. I'm like, "What happened today?" He's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Come on. Tell me the truth. What happened?" He's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "You got busted today. I know all about it. So-and-so told me this. You got busted with cocaine. And so what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, they told me either to get you or 5 other people." I said, "Well, guess what? You're not going to get me or any other people because I told everybody that you're busted." He goes, "Well, I can't go to jail. This is a big, giant 260-pound guy with 22-inch arms."
Huh.
And I'm like, "Yeah, you're going to go do your time." But anyways, he ended up setting up, even the people I warned told him that he got busted. He set them up anyways because they dealt with him anyways after that.
Yeah, I was close to the guy. You know, he was selling a lot, and he got caught. And I knew he got caught. I was
Steroids
friends
only,
with one of the guys that. What's that?
Steroids only, or other drugs too?
The steroids only.
Okay.
I was friends with one of the guys that raided his house, the law enforcement. So that's how I know he got caught. And he, like 3 days later, he's like, "Hey man, I need like, because I could get the Sarastem kits at the time. He's like, "Hey man, I need like 15 kits." I'm like, "You never need 15 kits." I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "I was like, "Dude, you're really trying to roll on me. Like, I don't even sell. I just get it. I'm like your friend. You're really trying to and I was like, "We're done."
No integrity. Craig Titus tried to set me up.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no one knows this. I don't know how much time you have because I don't really want to talk about it unless you get a second because it was pretty serious.
I remember when Craig got in trouble, he was definitely trying to set people up. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
He was an informant, Dave. Bob used to go see him in jail and shit.
So here's the story. Because in the very, very beginning, this is what happened. I meet him at the Collegiate Nationals. He flies me to Houston, Texas. We go around and pick up money from sales of ecstasy at strip clubs and so forth. It was ridiculous. He's giving people pills. He's taking money, cocaine, titties, VIP, out of this world. And then I'm back at his house, and somebody calls him, and he says, "Hey, this guy wants to talk to you about bodybuilding." I told him, "You're my coach." Talked to this guy for a minute about bodybuilding. I didn't say anything much, just talked to him a little bit about carb depletion and stuff like that because I didn't know who he was. But needless to say, I just didn't really know who he was to be friends with him like that. Give Craig back the phone, and then later on that night, a big shipment of ecstasy comes to his place. Huge shipment. Must have been millions of pills, okay? I'm there, so I come out and take a look at it, blah, 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 with Craig. I'm obviously, my mind is blown. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Remember, I'm there at the Collegiate Nationals. I'm not prepared to see all this drug dealing. That's not what I had in store. I thought he was a bodybuilder like everybody else, training, getting ready for his shows. I had no idea. No one told me that this is what he does for a living. And that's all he did for a living. He did nothing else but sell drugs, buy steroids, bodybuild, sell steroids, use cocaine, sell a little bit of coke, but not much. He gave it away mostly. But the cocaine was pure. The ecstasy, it was coming in from Texas. Could have been from Sammy. It could have been, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to really say who it came from, but it was definitely a lot of ecstasy was somehow mob related. Anyway, I train him for the Nationals. He comes in second. Manu says, "Go to Denver and you'll get your pro card."
Right.
He doesn't want to do my card depletion, so I don't want to go to Denver. So then he comes back from Denver. And he comes to my place. He stays with Richard Greenbaum, who's no longer with us. Dave, Dave, you remember Jennifer? She won.
Yep.
That's how I met you. I met you at the Junior Nationals that year.
Yep.
Okay. So what ended up happening was he stays with Richard, and then he comes to my place, and then my place gets raided by the DEA, but I knew about it. So I'm get done dropping off my last bag of stuff at a safe place. And as I pull into my apartment, the DEA is at the apartment ready to go raid me. And I pull into the apartment and I tell you guys are here for me, right? You're here for me and a lie. They start pulling their guns out and stuff like that. I said, "Listen, I'm going to park the car and I'll be right back." And they didn't know what to do because I just kind of said, "That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to leave the car here." So I pulled a Larry on them. So I park the car. I come back. They get me. They put me in handcuffs. They take me to the apartment. We open the apartment door. They search. There's nothing there. Nothing. They give me the papers. I go through the dates. Confidential informant. On that date, that was the date that Craig was there. Craig said he witnesses several drugs that really weren't even there, which is the most fucked up part of it. And yeah, because there was no one else that came to my place and there was no one else that was in that situation. So Craig tried to set me up, man. Didn't work because I have friends too.
So going back to what Greg said, Greg, it seems like you're right.
But
I'm never right. Even when I'm right, I'm wrong.
Greg, listen. Greg, listen to me, Greg, 1 second. You know how you were saying, we're talking bad. It's not good to, I never believe in talking bad about people when they die. But like I was saying earlier, I don't think what this was about. And let me tell you, all this time I've known Sarah, she's never talked bad about Rich, regardless of what happened in the relationship with him. She's never talked bad about him to me.
No, I'm not saying that I never said that I actually feel bad for her because I feel like she's been put on a spot because these other people are still alive. Rich is not. And when you start asking her, what happened like 10 years ago when this big guy, or whatever his name is, comes in and, she probably does, like, holy fuck.
You know what, Greg?
No, but
let's ask Sarah a much more, relevant question, which is, how do you think Rich died? I mean, was he on a bad path with drugs, or do you think it was just a freak accident?
Well,
You got to speculate.
well, we were both in a really bad place when I left. So I'm not sure what he did moving forward, but I did see a video with him and Chanel where he was taking pills, and I obviously recognized the pills right away. So I mean,
What were they?
it was Oxy.
Okay.
And I mean, I highly doubt that he stopped. So I'm not really sure what happened exactly, but I mean, he was probably not sober. So
Yeah.
You never stop until either it kills you, you get arrested, or you're close to death and shit happens. Armand will tell you, I'm sure, you know, when he tells his stories about that, like he's on basically death's doorstep, then all of a sudden you say, okay, maybe I better stop this. But otherwise, if you're not on death's doorstep, nobody stops. You know, whether it's drug dealing, doing drugs, you know what I'm saying, taking steroids, getting jacked, you know. I mean,
I got a question.
Well,
Sarah,
no, Greg,
Sarah, what do you do now? Hold on. Let me ask a question. Sarah, so now that's all what are you doing? What are you doing now for yourself? You're a beautiful young woman. You know, you appear to have a really good, genuine heart and stuff. So what are you doing now as far as working and your physique and stuff now, moving forward?
she's making cookies.
Oh, we lost. She's got no audio again.
No, come back.
You know what happens? People keep calling her. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think she put the do not disturb.
Airplane mode. She didn't put it on airplane mode, guys.
Yeah.
She just
hey,
Yeah, Sarah.
sorry, I don't know what's going on. It keeps like
Sarah, you need to put it on airplane mode.
Lee Priest keeps calling you. That's
No,
what's
not
going
airplane. Airplane will shut off the Wi-Fi.
You know when you swipe down and you have do not disturb.
That's right. I'm not.
I have mine on do not disturb, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
Huh.
Don't forget she's
on.
an
She's
Iceland.
getting bad connection. Yes, she is a nice.
she's
Yes,
Iceland.
So yeah, so basically, you know, obviously I got on the show with Dave in 2020, and I was in Sweden then. I was there for like 6 months and then came to Iceland. I have been working for the last 3 years in the medical field. I work with patients that need 24-hour care, that have had either strokes or anything like that and don't have full motor function. So that's, you know, I've been doing that with school. I am now on my 3rd year in business school, and will graduate next year with a degree in business administration and business intelligence. So that's really exciting. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome.
And I just started a company and just working on launching it. It's basically about, you know, health and fitness related. And also regarding business, just basically empower people to live their best lives. So
you're doing occupational therapy, more or less.
No, so basically it's patients that, you know, are dealing with different diagnoses and need 24-hour care, everything from getting out of bed to help them with their daily routines and, you know, give them medicine and everything. I mean, it's basically, you know, the same thing as being a nurse is, except besides I'm not a nurse, you know, but it's the same thing, basically.
Sarah,
Well,
it's pretty clear why Rich went after you. You're definitely a keeper. Are you with somebody right now?
No, I'm not.
Why? I mean,
You available? I mean,
People might want to know.
Why don't you just ask her for a date?
People might want to know, you know.
Look at Amin.
Settle your case first, Amin, then you can ask her out.
I'm just saying. People
I
might want to know.
hope Sarah doesn't have an OnlyFans, otherwise this asshole's gonna go looking at it.
Getting back, hold on. Getting
Sarah,
back
do
to
you have
our,
an
hold on.
OnlyFans? You got a big OnlyFans
I'm
here?
going to bring the show full circle now. Getting back to our original question, we talked about Logan Paul. If you were to meet Sarah and maybe you weren't from our industry, maybe you're a doctor somewhere, and then you start Googling and you find out all this stuff that went on with Rich Piana and Big Boy and this tape and this video, would that be enough to not want to get involved with her in a relationship? I'll go around the horn. John Bravo.
No, me, because I know her, so it's not a fair
No,
question.
you pretend you didn't know. But pretend you didn't know her. Pretend you didn't know her.
No, listen, man. All my life, anytime I meet anybody, it doesn't matter. I always say I don't hold anything against them. Right prior to meeting, the only things that I have as a red flag in my life is drug issues. People who have drug issues, those are the ones that I have as a red flag. Other than that, because they always have a temptation to go back to it later in life, no matter what. So for me, sexual things, no, because you could use that as an advantage. It could be a good thing for you. So why
this is not sexual? This is just controversy.
Drama.
Yeah, drama.
No, you got to get to know somebody, man. Especially, like I said, I know Sarah, so it's hard for me to answer that. But no, I wouldn't hold it against her.
What about you, Larry?
Friends, yeah. Relationship, no.
Okay. Now, why? Too much drama for you?
I've changed my. I'm very, very selective. Put it that way.
Okay.
Like you better be like a nun. I've been through too much bullshit.
Larry, finding that. Yeah, you're in. You're gonna.
I'm
be searching
just
for
saying.
a long time. I mean,
You know, I don't think being judgmental, because if you're judgmental, you could miss out on something really good, right? But you have to really get to know someone and their true intentions and how they feel about you. You should never really kind of like chase them. That's not how it doesn't work like that. So, but in general, yeah, I would give her a chance.
All right, Greg.
I don't hold anything against anybody. My last girlfriend was a prostitute and shit like that before I met her. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't bother me. And I don't listen to what people have to say. Because even Logan Paul, you know, he got a million pictures. He probably knows a different side to that girl than everybody else. So if I got to know the girl, I don't give a shit what she did. I don't care if it was yesterday. As long as it wasn't on my watch, I'm good. You know, like I don't care. I don't care
what if Logan Paul, what if the picture is with you licking her butt? Does he marry you? What if they have a picture of you licking her butthole? Does Logan marry her? Yes or no?
Would I marry her? If
no,
I'm looking
you don't get it. He doesn't get it.
Wait,
Logan Paul barrier.
Yeah. I think you meant it backwards. I think you meant if Logan Paul was licking her butt. Is that what you're saying?
He would love that. I mean, he would love that.
Yeah, he would love that.
You know what I tell him? I tell him move over. Move over. Let me get a piece of that pie. I don't give a shit. She can blow a fart in my face. I don't care. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Mr. G?
No, it won't matter what she did before. I mean, it's the person she is now. Obviously, she's more about how she is on the inside than the outside. I mean, obviously she's a beautiful woman, but it seems to me wanting to be a nurse and take care of people who are very sick is really who she is. That's who she's about. That's what she's about. So I wouldn't matter to me. It matters going forward. You know, I mean, we've all done stuff, so we can't judge anybody. They're getting judged them by how they are now and how they act. You know.
In this situation, she didn't really do anything, though. That's the whole thing.
I'm just saying, just drama. I'm just talking about drama-wise.
Yeah.
Armand?
No, I mean,
yeah. So I'm a lot different now than I was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was too forgiving and I had too many people in my life. Now, especially since, you know, I told my story and all my troubles and all that, if I wasn't married, I would be very selective. I've had my past, but you know, I've looked at losing my freedom, courts, you know, all that crazy stuff that, you know, I told in my story. So I would, yes, it matters to me because that potentially could, you know, those red flags that I ignored in my earlier years, if I, you know, repeated that, it could have the same consequences again. Right. So, you know, I think it's important for people to be upfront with each other, what you're looking for. And, you know, when you lie and hide that kind of stuff, I did it too. I was no angel. You know, I would lie to girls. No, it's only you, baby, and stuff like that. It comes back and it, you know, tears stuff up.
Now, here's my question to you, Sarah, because having gone through what you went through with Rich and all the people associated with that whole thing and other bodybuilders, you know, that came after Rich, Moving forward, looking for a person you want to date, would you stay away from bodybuilding? Was that enough to get you to not want to date a bodybuilder, or are you still okay with bodybuilders?
Honestly just kind of over it. The whole bodybuilding industry. It's
I don't blame you.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
It's horrible.
very
But three
toxic.
things are relation killers: lying, jealousy, and violence. If there's one of those three things, your relationship's doomed. I never drank. I never did any drugs. I never partied. Did a lot of steroids. But I've never smoked pot, never smoked a cigarette, never drank coffee, never drank tea. I never even tasted that shit. Never drank a beer. So I don't like the only thing I would stop, I don't like a person at parties. One of you guys said that. I don't know if it was a mean or I don't like somebody who does drugs either. So I wouldn't like. That's the only thing that would like.
You hung out at the Sound Factory.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. I wasn't picking girls up at the, like I wasn't looking for a wife there. You know what I'm saying?
But you knew everyone there.
Hold on, Greg, you did a lot of drugs then.
I never did drugs.
No,
never.
he didn't. No, he didn't.
Never.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
never did
Never.
drugs. Never. I've
Just-
never been high in my life. I don't know what. I've
Forgive
never
me, my
drank
bad.
beer.
My
I've never
bad.
even. Dude, my father.
You were just
my
around
father's
it all.
father,
You were around it
my,
all.
my grandfather made fucking wine, right? Italian wine. My father used to help him make it. My father never tasted the wine.
No,
that
Greg,
he-
I'm sorry, bro. You were just around it. My bad.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But what I'm trying to say is I grew up idolizing my father. That's why. It has nothing to do with bodybuilding or any of that shit. I grew up idolizing my father. My father never drank
Right.
and all this shit. And he instilled that shit in my brain that, that takes away. When you do drugs and you drink and you get fucked up, you lose control. You have no control
Sure.
over yourself. You understand
Sure,
what I'm saying?
right,
So
yeah.
I'm a control, like as far, I don't
How
control
are
my
you able to stay up all night at the Sound Factory, dude? Like, it
But
blows
it
my
doesn't matter.
mind.
I'm having a good time. I'm not
He
there.
he was an ephedra freak. He did ephedra. He
I
definitely
did ephedra and you absolutely.
Adderall. You probably were taking Adderall.
I can't stay up
I
that
don't take
late without
the
something.
Adderall. Maron. I take a little crumb if I'm going to work out, not to be normal. I only
Well,
took
great. I didn't know how anyone could stay up all night like that. That's all.
I don't know. I like not. First of all,
because he slept all day. That's why.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm
like
not-
bouncers
sleep.
bouncers do that.
I
yeah.
can't even sleep. I'm fucked up.
He
I'm
still
one of
does
those
that.
people-
He sleeps during the day, and him and his girlfriend, and then they go to the gym at 4 in the morning.
I have
And
to
then
have noise. makers.
They call me at 8 a.m. and Greg's like, I haven't gone to sleep yet. I had to just tell you the story first before I go to bed.
That's why he trains at 2 a.m. Now I
But
get
Exactly.
I'll go to sleep.
Exactly.
I can't sleep with 4 hours. I get a lot. That's a lot to me because I'm nuts. You know what I mean? And I can't. I'm hyper. I can't
No,
stop.
you know,
I
Greg,
turn off
Greg,
fucking-
a lot of highly successful and very intelligent men only sleep 4 hours. It's
So what
not-
happened to me? I'm fucking not highly
Why-
successful.
why
and
do
I'm
you-
fucking
why-
too
hold on.
intelligent, you know what I mean?
Well, you're
the
on
only-
the show, right?
I
Greg,
know.
So that's success.
You're the,
Oh, yeah.
you're the only person saying this about
That was
yourself,
it.
which leads me to believe that you know it's not true yourself.
You're a misguided genius, Greg. That's what I tell
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you, Dave.
You
That's
are
what I
too,
would
Amin.
say.
Sarah, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. You have to be very brave to come on with all these guys, but I appreciate your honesty and telling us what happened and clarifying a few points for us. I want to ask you one more thing. The whole Mac truck thing. What went down from your perspective? Because I'm friends with Mac and I've had him on the show, and he said that kind of Rich provoked that whole thing. Do you have a different perspective on that?
Tell me
Are
you
you
don't
talking
remember.
about what happened at the expo or?
The LA Fit Expo when they had the fight, yeah.
I'm not really. I don't really know a lot about it because we were
Oh.
separate at that
Oh,
time.
you separated? Okay.
Yeah.
What was were you friends with Mac? I mean, what was your relationship with him?
Yeah. Me and Mac were always, good friends, and he came often to the house. So it was really surprising to me that he can't stand me and thinks that I'm this horrible person for posting that video. We literally just fell out, and I was just so shocked because I always stood by him as a friend. And even though when, him and Rich were not on good terms,
And you didn't
so
post the video, and you didn't even post the fucking video.
I don't
Yeah,
think he knew. Maybe he thought she did post the video, obviously. So that's why he was judging her based on that, maybe.
Man, people are
Right,
so
but
fragile.
why not just ask me, just
Yeah.
talk to
For
me.
real.
Because I've always been very nice to him and his wife and his kids and everything. So it was just very hurtful. So
Yeah, Sarah, I remember you were friends. You used to go over their house.
I'm
Yeah.
really surprised
Mhm.
people can't just call people these days. It's really just the
You know what it is? That video, hold on, that video was so, like inappropriate to post that I think people just assumed it was on her phone. She must have posted it. I mean,
But
I
she's
assumed
not, and
that.
she's not even the one who said fucking record it. It was Jane. That's the
Right,
thing.
right. I know, but no one knows the backstory, and so I think everyone just assumed that she posted that video.
What was that audio tape with there? Rich was arguing. Was it with her or with the other girl?
No, it was with me.
That was
Sorry.
with her too.
Yeah.
That was pretty nasty argument.
She said she didn't post that either, right?
Well,
You didn't post that. Sarah, you didn't post that audio clip, did you? Oh, keep losing it.
I think that Rich video.
She said before, Larry, she didn't post that clip either.
For the record, she said she was single. Okay.
I mean, you're still at that, you pervert. What are you trying to do, you asshole?
I'm joking, John. I know she's your friend.
That means
wasn't
the
even
fucking
the point.
pervert.
Sarah,
on the
you
channel.
didn't post that audio clip either, right? Isn't that what you said earlier?
No, I did not. I would never do that. No.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that
it
was
was
the-
just that we were arguing so much around that time, and just a lot of really hurtful and awful things that were said, and sometimes I was just really scared. So I recorded it for myself, not to be shared or heard by anyone, So it's I don't understand how that got online, because why the hell would I post that? Because obviously it makes me look like shit,
Right.
And him saying all these crazy things when he was, not in his right state of mind. So it's I don't know, just people have just painted me as the bad guy from the beginning, the gold digger, the awful person that used Ritz and all that stuff. I mean, I was in the country for years before I even met Ritz. So like,
How do you think it got out? I mean, it was on. I'm just saying it was on your phone, right?
People have the video.
Yeah.
I mean,
It gets in people's hands, and
yeah, well, the audio recording was sent to one person. I don't really know if I should mention her name, but
Jane.
but yeah, I mean, I think she posted it. I don't know why she would though. So
So
it frames you. That's why.
I have no respect.
You
No
recorded
guy
it.
any guy that hits a girl is fucking a punk. I have no respect for that. I never hit a girl in my life. I'd just rather walk away. If there's violence in a relationship, bye.
100% agree.
I agree.
100%.
I think at the end of the day, if we evaluate everything that went on in the show, the only person really to blame for everything that happened and the fact that he's not here anymore is Rich himself, because Rich was a very intelligent man. He was a marketing genius. I think he really started the whole YouTube craze, especially in our fitness industry. That's for sure.
100%.
And unfortunately, he was his own undoing, because he was trying to constantly one-up himself, and he one-upped himself, into the grave is really what happened. And it's a sad day, because we all were friends with him. And I know Sarah had it's at one point in your relationship, it was very serious and you guys loved each other. And it's just sad all the way around. So no one really, the only person who really lost out was all of us. Rich is probably in a much better place, probably laughing his ass off watching this show, but it is what it is.
Saying all that to close this too. If you ask Sarah, ask her, out of all the boyfriends, husbands, whatever relationship she had in her life, who was the best one out of them all? What is she going to say? Ask her.
Go ahead.
I've asked her before. So
all right, I just asked her. Answer.
it was Ritz for sure.
Interesting.
Because I truly respected him, and I could trust him, and we did have a great relationship before everything went downhill. And like I said, it's really important in a relationship to be able to trust the person and know that they're loyal to you. And just how everything was between I know it just went downhill real fast, and a lot of bad things happened, which I'm really sad about. So but I would definitely say it's Ritz for sure, because I do think that he was a great man, and he did so much for so many people, and just his motivation and how he just affected people. He was just so larger than life character, and it was very inspirational to watch him work so hard every day. and how he was with his fans and everything. And that's why I truly hope that, I know that people like to talk about him and all that stuff. And, but just the fact that people talk positively about him because he did a lot of great things, yes, there was, and
we lost
Hey,
your
did
audio.
you guys ever want to have kids? Did you guys ever talk about wanting to have kids? Just out of curiosity.
We lost your audio, Sarah.
Be careful; they might mislabel you.
What? Oh, you mean because of kids?
I wish Greg. I wish you had.
I would like to know.
I wish we had a little Greg running around.
You do.
Oh,
He has kids.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's right. That's right.
well,
Yeah,
I want if Rich want kids. Did Rich want kids?
I want to know, did you and Rich ever want to have kids? Did you guys ever talk about that? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I wanted to have kids. He did not, but I did tell him that, I do want to have kids. So he was like, all right, then, But yes, we did talk about it.
Do you think a lot of these people that used to be close to him, I think he put so many people on the map no one would ever know, like Big Boy and stuff like that. And, right? Do you believe that too?
What?
Like no one would ever know who those people were if it wasn't for Rich.
Yes, 100%. Because he kind of took people under his wing and just taught them everything and put them out there basically. So he was really mentoring people and doing a lot of great things. So I do believe that if he wouldn't have done that, a lot of people would know who they were.
Did Rich have a role in Cali Muscle's career?
Well, yeah, they did not like each other.
No, but before that, were they friends at one point in the beginning or not? Or was it
I am not sure. I mean, he just didn't really like him.
Big Boy's friends with both of them, right?
Huh?
Big Boy was friends with both of them, right?
I don't know about that.
I'm not really sure if Big Boy and Callie were friends or whatever. Like I said, I don't know Big Boy personally like that, so I'm not sure.
I met Rich. He was very nice to me, but I don't think he liked me. I don't think I was his cup of tea either, but that's okay.
Well, you guys know before Dave closes this show, and this is for the people that are in the comments. You know what I did to Sarah one time? I fucked her up because I told Jason Genova that she was in love with him.
Oh no, that's cruel.
And he bombed the hell out of her life. She wanted to kill me. You remember that, Sarah?
Yes, I do. Thanks, by the way.
And you still talk to Johnny after that? Oh my God.
Were you there when you got slapped?
Yes.
Oh, you were there when you got slapped.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they love that story. The people who watch this show, they love that story. So
who slapped him again?
Rich
slapped him. That's right. Oh, I forgot that. Why did Rich slap him, Sarah?
So he had been, just posting a bunch of stuff and having all his minions or all these millions of accounts just, go on our page and talk so much shit. And I guess he was just fed up with it and told him that they were going to meet at the expo. And I don't really know how it came about, the slapping, but I just remember being in the expo and then all of a sudden, they were just slapping. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And of course, a lot of people were like, oh, he's, putting his hands on, on him and, he's not 100% there and this and that, but they had already talked about it and it was not like Rich was being this horrible person, so it's totally different than people think it was.
It was like, come here, you deserve this for doing that. Okay, I'll take it. Kind of like.
I think the trolls attacked Rich after that too.
Yeah, they did. Oh my God.
Order 66 them probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what caused it, that Order 66 shit. I think he did that before, and that's what Rich was upset about.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Never-ending drama in our business. Well, I'm so happy that you're doing well now, Sarah. Congratulations. Are you planning on staying where you are, or are you going to plan on moving back to the U.S.? What's your game plan?
Well, I do want to be in Iceland. I mean, I could move back, but honestly, with the way the country's going, I don't really think I want to go back. It's like bullshit over there.
Yeah.
We may move to Iceland, my friend.
We might go out to Iceland.
No, Greg, they're all blonde. Iceland's nice. You like it.
Look,
Actually,
I mean,
you know
it's
who was going to flee to
perfect.
Iceland? I mean,
Huh?
you know who was going to try to flee to Iceland?
Flea?
Oh.
Who?
Like leave, escape.
Yeah. Oh, dude, who's that?
Titus and Kelly Ryan. That's where they were
That's
going
where
when
they
they were
were
on the
going,
run.
right? It's on the
They
phone.
were going to Iceland.
I didn't know it was Iceland.
They had a friend there. or
Was
something
there a
like that.
reason
Yeah.
for that? Because there's no extradition or something, or what?
I don't know, but they had to say they had some kind of contact over there in Iceland.
They
were
made
planning.
it. They made it out of the state, and they were in. Weren't they in New
Boston,
York, right?
I think they were in
Boston. Way to
Massachusetts.
go.
Yeah.
Sarah, is there a hot spring?
Getting their nails done.
Yeah.
My friend went to Iceland, and him and his kids, and he was in a hot, like it was snowing. It was like a water, and he was in some
Yeah.
sort of spring or something like that.
Yeah.
It's called Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah. I have a client from there, and he shows me. I was going to go there, but I couldn't because of this. But it's absolutely beautiful, and the people
It
are
is.
so nice, and the food
Yeah, my
is
friend
real
loves it.
too. Like
Yeah.
real milk from the cow that hasn't been pasteurized, real cheese, all that stuff. Like it's
Oh yeah. So the good
it's
thing
all
about
real,
Iceland
man.
is, we don't put any, steroids, nothing, nothing like that, like they do in
Yeah,
the
the
US.
food is
It's all clean.
yeah, the meat, the chicken, they all grass fed. It's just
Yeah.
unbelievable, man. The way
Mhm.
it's probably number
It's
one or
basically
two in
like
the world.
when you go to the grocery store, everything is organic. Everything.
They don't eat. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but it's illegal to bring anything non-organic in the country. Is that correct? Like you can't have any GMO seeds or any of that stuff. Like right?
Yeah, we have a lot of rules regarding everything. That's why everything is so clean here and good.
It all
So-
sounds great, but I don't go to any. I don't live in any countries that have the word "ice" in the title of the.
That's crazy because the water's really good too. So you got ice water.
that's
yes.
I'm done with snow. I'm done with snow. I only want sunshine.
that's a good point in that part. But
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up today. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. Once again, it was a pleasure to talk to you, and the stories were great. Johnny Bravo, thank you for coming on the show. Hopefully, we'll get you back again next week. John Romano will be back. He's sending me pictures from the mountaintops of wherever he is, Portugal and Machu Picchu in Peru. He's having a great time on vacation. He'll be back next week. And Larry, thank you for all your great stories. And once again, thank you guys for joining us live. You're our biggest support system out there. I don't know why you like this show, but you come back every week. And we'll be back next week just for you guys. For now, we're out. I'm Dave Palumbo for another edition of After Hours.